This is Obsuna Obsessions. Welcome to yet another episode of Teaching Obsession Vlog. And for today's episode, I'm going to be sharing what are the teaching advices that I can give, especially to the first year PE teachers and to those PE teachers who are getting rusty and wanted to go back to PE teaching. The first one is you have to have your strong classroom management. You have to have a consistent routine by beginning your class the same way every day and end the same way. Also, include talking about respect to equipment, how the equipment should be treated, and also talk about personal and communal spaces and how to respect others in PE class. Mean what you say and say what you mean. Do not focus on getting to content until you have all the routines and procedure in play. Practice your procedure often. If you want them to walk in quietly and orderly, practice it. If you want them to respond to a signal, practice it. Practice here is the key. This is very good for pre-KG until elementary levels. Introduce cue system. You have to create a very conventional way on how you're going to connect through whistle. You have to identify what is the meaning of a short whistle sound, what's the meaning of a long whistle sound, if this means danger or listen to the teachers or a go. Also, you have to also create what your gesture would probably mean. If you put your one hand up, what does it mean in your PE class? So you really have to conventionalize and create this kind of cue system. Lesson structure. From safety rule, learning targets, success criteria, warm-up, drills, lead-up game, checking for understanding Q&A, cool-down and mindfulness until to your self-checkout. The student should be knowledgeable and fully aware of how the phasing of the classes should go. This gives a certain clarity and a sense of prediction to the students if you have a very structured kind of lesson. If you threaten with consequences, make sure you always follow through if they make another bad choice. The next one is to have rules and expectation. In here, you have to list down all the guidelines and all the behavior expectation during PE class. It must be always respected and practiced. Have the students and parents to sign it in a slip form or contract form. If you wanted to take the acknowledgement of all the written guidelines and all the written behavior expectation during your PE class, you have to have this document. If you wanted to save some paper, you can have it digitally and you can just give a slip form for them to sign at home. Or if you wanted a full swing, like contract form document, then ask them to return that document to you, meaning that they have acknowledged all the rules and regulation and the behavior expectation during your PE class. Also, students' input matter. So if you wanted to put those students in a creative process before you create your full rules and regulation in the class, you can ask them what's your insight, what's in your mind, what do you think is the best thing to do in this kind of concern, or if this is a scenario had happened, so what do you think is the best and fair thing to do. So putting them in the loop creates a very positive environment, and at the same time they will really feel good. Also, we can use these rules and expectations to build relationship. In creating the different stages of consequences, the students should be aware and knowledgeable of every step of the way. We can also introduce privileges and timeout as part of the consequences and part of the reward system. We can create some privileges if they do something good, like they can have this kind of PE pass, they can borrow extra equipment, they can be the captain of the day. So this kind of privileges that they can have. On the other hand, if they do something bad or if they come up with some bad decision, We can have some consequences like 5 minutes timeout, or we can have this 5 minutes thinking time in a specific way. So it's kind of way of building a relationship between you and the students. And also we can include something about fair play, sportsmanship, and teamwork. Be fair and firm in how you treat your students, and remember that is fair is not always equal. Also, a visual of rules and expectation and consequences displayed in your PE room or in your gym. So I always do it. I see to it that for my visual learners, I always have to display and project. I have my bulletin board for my rules and expectations and everything in my gym. Next is all about filing. Document file. You have to have your document file, of course. You have to have your curriculum, your lesson plan, rules and expectation, of course, rubric form, skill assessment form, all the kind of form that the teacher must have. You have to file it accordingly. Well, my advice here is whenever you're creating rubrics and any skill assessment form, make sure that this is students friendly. You have to use the word that student uses, and it should be on the level of the student. You may wanna use some technical words here, but make sure that you have to explain it to the student what's the meaning of this technical word that you have used. The second one is logbook. A logbook for the inventory of the equipment. Also, you can have a logbook for the absentees so you can monitor the amount of absent that your students are creating. Also, another logbook for the aha moment. I call it aha moment, or it's like a light bulb moment where if my students do something good that is out of ordinary, I always make sure that I lag it off, not only during the class, or during off class also, so that if during the parent teacher conference, I can communicate it to the parent. Yeah, so I call it PA journal. And also keeping a file for each student, so you may need to call home about, so that the communication is right at your fingertips. I mean, I know that there is a computer database, but it is always better if you have it ready on hand, especially if there's an incident happen, and always the admin will ask you, did you call the parent, did you call home? Of course, you wanted to always say, yes, I have called. You have to have your zone in your playing space or playing area. Have one designated spot to put the jacket, the ID card, the bottled water, and etc. So as they leave, you can check the spot. Also, you have to identify where are the danger zone, where are the places that the students are not supposed to go over. And also you have to identify the safety zone where you have to create a perimeter of the playing area that the students will really enjoy in the class. You can use also different linings of the court during your warm up. All right, you can use also the benches. Okay, you have to create, okay, these benches is whenever we are creating or whenever we are doing some self check or understanding check. So these benches is for the time off, for the water break. You can also create and use the circles, okay, the circle lining for the circle time. If you're trying to explain the learning target of the day or the success criteria, so use this zone. All right, identify this zone for that purpose. The next is for extra mile. What are these extra mile? Get to know the kid's name as quickly as possible and have them learn your name, like Mr. or Coach. Okay, because students needs to know what you care about them. The toughest kids are looking for love, even if you only can tell them, I like your hair today. Find something positive to say to them. This will really put a smile on their face and will make their day. Listen to them. Children would love to be listened to, and even though sometimes they tend to be annoying at some point, but still you have to listen to them and empathize with them. Acknowledge their small success. If you are working in your skills or any form of drill, with your differentiated instruction, you have to acknowledge every single victories and small successes. And then you have to give fair chances for all. Yeah. So if you have this captainship system in your during your PE class, make sure that everybody gets the chance. If you are selecting your equipment monitor, or any leadership role in the class, make sure that it is rotational and everybody is getting the chance. Now it's all about the spirit gears. What are the things that you need to prepare or to buy in order for you to be a successful PE teacher. Of course, you have to have your Fox 40 whistle. This is a non-negotiable thing. A stopwatch, a durable lanyard, a bottled water, a good pair of shoes. Make sure your shoes is sole appropriate. I mean, if you have this, of course, in outdoor, the sole should be outdoor friendly. If you are having your class inside a gym, make sure it is a vinyl. If your flooring is vinyl or Paraflex, so make sure the sole is appropriate for that. If you are on the track also, if you may want to have this spike kind of sole, so make sure for every different venue, different court that you are using during your PE class, make sure that you have your shoes appropriate for that. Of course, hat, sunscreen, sunglasses during outside, and a high visibility vest. I mean, of course, this is not one size fits all. This is one size fit most. So especially with the weather we have here, so I don't know if your school permits you to wear sunglasses during your PE class, but some do. At least you have something in mind that you can have. Of course, if you may want to have the electronic wireless microphone, if you are dealing with a large number of students in a bigger space. Yeah, so these are the starter pack for the PE teachers. And of course, add-ons. Always have a plan B, C, D until Z ready to go, adapting to all the crazy scenarios you will encounter along the way with laughter. Be confident in the program that you're building and have fun with the kids. If they see you excited, the energy switches to positive really quick. If your school doesn't already assign you a mentor, see if you can find someone you can confide in. Teaching can be really stressful, and it's nice to have someone there for advice. So there you have it. I hope that you learned something from this vlog today, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. And best of luck. Thank you.